Thanks for staying with us here on Breakfast Central. Let's now bring you the newspaper front pages. Joining us to review the front pages, public affairs analyst Theophilus Akatugba. Good morning. Good to see you always. Thank you for joining us.
Again, until
no, now we've seen Happy New Year. It's true.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Nice to meet you.
I haven't sent Happy New Year messages to all my family members. No, this grain is in celebration of Nigeria's win against Morocco.
Anticipated win.
Okay, I like that. I like the sense of patriotism.
In faith. And then tomorrow is going to be Armed Forces.
It's going to be a tough
Day.
match. First. The toughest match of the tournament is going to be, and I hope...
What's going to make it tough? Because we're playing against a host nation.
Anytime Nigeria plays, a nation like Nigeria will play a host nation. You can imagine what Morocco will do.
You should expect hostility.
Yes.
I like that.
The Ivorians came with everything, including voodoo.
Yes. In the last AFCON, we lost to in the finals too, but this would be a different tale.
Well,
but let's get straight into our newspaper headlines. So I believe we should start with...
let's see which one is juicy. Let's start with Tribune, Nigerian Tribune, actually. Okay. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, U.S. delivers military supplies to Nigeria. 129 terrorists arrested, 55 killed, 309 hostages rescued in Kwara and Kogi, according to the police. Without going further, okay, top left rather, our church massacre. DSS lists 10 witnesses, tenders more documentary evidences. All of this is speaking about insecurity. So maybe we'll start with the state of insecurity in our country. And you can see the picture there. They say the picture is a picture of the United States forces delivering critical military supplies to Nigerian partners.
But they've refused to disclose what sort of weaponry and equipment it is for security reasons. But how have we fared since the December 25th bombings in terms of insecurity, and how much of a difference will this equipment that just arrived make on the ground?
Like I said the other time, Nigeria had been suffering from lack of capacity and resources to adequately and effectively fight insecurity. You know, it's not easy for the government to open up and say we do not have the resources. We've got to have a psychological part of the war by declaring that we have the capacity to fight so that our enemies will not take advantage of such lamentation. However, the reality is that the Donald Trump classification of Nigeria as a country of particular concern has been, the government have taken advantage of it to set up a collaboration that is now resulting in this type. So in terms of how we have fared, since 25th of December attack, there has been some kind of, upsurge of confidence, of moral boosting for our military men. And they've made some more gains since that time. And you've seen that the terrorists themselves have also gone on a low scale. And
well, Bello Tuji hasn't gone low-key because he's threatening, he's issued ultimatums to communities, and we've seen mass displacements in parts of the northwest where people fear for his attack because he's issued ultimatum.
Yes, he's still alive, and it's
still causing issues and problems
of the strategy or the tactics of his terrorist activities. What I can assure you, with these supplies and more supplies that are coming, should be able to give our security forces, an upper hand against them. I believe that because the military can be the best military in the world.
But without
enough adequate ammunition and equipment, they can't do much, because this is a war where the military of Nigeria is known, but the terrorists are unknown. You won't be able to tell who's a terrorist in a crowded place. But you will spot out a Nigerian military official, military personnel, or security agent once you see him. So it's a very difficult war.
Okay, and let's move to some positive.
We should credit the fact that our country turned around the gun-blazing threat of Donald Trump.
Well, he said he's still on the table.
Yes, I believe we should have done more strikes. I know the strikes are quite expensive. I believe he should have done more, but the fact that he did that and said he could do it again,
it shouldn't.
It's a welcome development in the spirit of the collaboration.
In your opinion, though, but I mean, I beg to
currently.
disagree. We're a sovereign nation, and I believe our military assets have what it takes to deal with terrorism.
I know that's your position always.
Yes.
I know that, and I respect it.
Okay, let's move on to some positive stories here, and let's hope it's the last we will hear of ASU's threat to go on strike.
Today
the
the
government begins implementation ahead of agreement signing with ASU. They have ticked some of the boxes that ASU had demanded for, and one box that stands out, or one of the major issues, is 40% increase in their remuneration for lecturers and members of ASU. So that's a good one.
Yes, I like to say that when I look at how this government have managed universities' relationship with lecturers, I'll give them a better mark compared to previous administrations. If you look at the intervention that they have brought in the student loan fund and how they have responded to ASU each time they have, threatened to go on strike, and how they have even resolved if there was any strike at all, is impressive in comparison with previous administrations. Now, however, I like to say that I have always been saying that ASU need to be a bit more creative in order to find solutions to the many problems that are plaguing our educational sector. One of it is lack of funding. And when you don't have funding, you can't have quality university education. Even the West have recognized that long ago. And they have allowed and made it possible. Let their people pay full cost.
How would they
give
fund?
Scholarship and loans? They can only have fund if government pulls out of funding universities.
And then university education
universities have to charge the right fee, and then loan facilities should be granted to
wouldn't it be beyond the reach of a lot of
You
Nigerians?
can't have something of quality without cost. So we need to agree.
But during your time,
ASU
it was not that expensive.
No, when you say
it was
my
free.
time, no, that is how we started. We started on a note of development. So we will get to a stage where you can't afford it. For example, you have more Nigerians now, more children being born, and at the time we were having free education, giving free meals. How many people were interested in education? So the more you have, you cannot continue to carry that burden. What will happen is that if you keep carrying it, qualities will keep reducing.
Just like
our
subsidy.
lecturers will keep jackbarring, and then you won't be able to fund it. So education is expensive. If we can, I believe Nigeria should put a lot of effort in primary and secondary education, to the extent that anyone who finishes from that level should become employable.
The quality of education
Absolutely.
that they've got.
You can boost that part.
I mean, because in other climes, it's not everybody that has a university degree, and they do very well in life.
Right. Okay, let's, before we go ahead, mention to our virtual audience, now is the time for YouTube comments and phone calls. So please head to News Central Live on YouTube, where we're streaming live, and drop your comments on any of these stories on the front pages of the papers, and I will be taking comments from the chat box. I can see the conversations there. Olumide Alade says, let us assume that the 2023 to 2027 period of governance has been influenced by re-election considerations and political strategy. I hope that once these ambitions are resolved, 2031 governance will fully refocus on delivering meaningful benefits, enabling citizens to enjoy the true dividends of good governance. This is in response to...
It's not a strategy.
Hope is not a strategy, but this is in response to
our interview with
the Commissioner of Information and Strategy in Edo State. Timo Umbiko, I've seen your comments, but please, if I take it...
It's not rated, it's not television.
It's not television rated. I've seen Mokunye Chukwuemeka's comments as well. Victor Okebata says, this man speaking is part of the problem. We need external help, especially from the Americans.
Oh, wow.
It's only terrorist sympathizers who claim that Americans are coming for our resources. Do you want to respond to that?
To that? Well, America is a very transactional country.
America that's going to kidnap a sitting president and his wife.
Under the regime of Donald Trump, he has said he will protect and defend anyone who can pay for it. That he has started without asking for money doesn't mean we'll ask for something.
Exactly. And let's let's stop gaslighting
Nigeria should
people.
enjoy the help, but be prepared.
And saying that if you don't like American support, it means you're a terrorist sympathizer. That's a very pedestrian way of thinking, and it's gaslighting. You have the president of America himself has said it, that they're going in for the oil, that Venezuela's oil belongs to America. He has gone there to kidnap the head of state on frivolous charges of drug peddling. And the organization that he said the president was heading, the Cartel of the Sons, does not even exist because it was not in the DOJ indictment.
But I can understand where they're coming from, and where they're coming from, again, when I hear this, I always say it boils back to the government, where it is because when people feel frustrated and they feel that their government cannot protect them, it's why they're seeking for help externally. It's why we hear citizens in Shikafi, in Zamfara, Zamfara state, entering into a truce with Bello Turji and saying that they will not report his activities so long as he doesn't attack.
He will attack them eventually. He will always use them for
Have you not read the Wolf and the...
There's no agreement with any... Look at the other time. Such an agreement ended up in slaughtering 40 farmers in Borno State.
Very, very sad.
So you don't have
but still on the front page of the Tribune newspaper, there's an interesting story. Nigeria Inland Waterway is to acquire barges and vessels with 10.3 billion in 2026. The entire southern border of Nigeria is coastal states. We have many networks of rivers, but our waterways are underutilized. You know, you could get to Port Novo in less than 3 hours if you go to Marina, the Niwa jetty there, and take some of these boats. But the problem is information and then the type of boats that you'll use. Some of those ferries are not modern. People fear safety, and the fact that they're going to even dredge 100 kilometers of waterways with 1.8 billion naira, I think it's a laudable development.
You know, when we in this country, what is most lacking in Nigeria is information. There's a huge ecosystem in the waterways. Those who have traveled, if you can harness it, to be an advantage. What I don't like about Nigerian reportage, there's always this billion, they talk about money a lot in everything. Every problem they throw money, because everybody who works in government, the majority of people who work in government, they're actually looking for this problem in order to bring money out of the treasury. So once there's a crisis, money comes out. And when money comes out, then corruption takes charge. You begin to, because we throw money, that's why there's so much corruption, and that's why you see politicians at each other's throat, because they know that it is in the problem solving that the politicians are getting. That's why you see it boils down to every part. Having been in Niger, in Mali, in Malawi, all these countries, the narrative across Africa is similar.
All right, let's hold that thought and hear from Kingsley. Kingsley is calling from Benin. Good morning, Kingsley. Thank you for calling. Please go ahead with your thought.
Good morning. Please, I want to talk about those states, Benin City. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, because a spokesman came to your studio. He's talking about opposition. You know one thing about our state, because if you didn't go out, you will not see what is happening. Our governor is doing flyover. Is it everybody wanted to pass that flyover? There's some road they have to do in this Benin. Maybe if you people can come to Benin, inside the city, there's some road they have to do. They will not do that. They will come and do the one people can be seeing that they are walking. Anyway, there's no problem. He said he want to give Ashwazu million votes. Whether it's the people that pack with them that they want to give that vote, when it comes to that election, we have to see. Because it's just campaigning. They are working. They should come and show us, we that stay in Benin, the road they are doing, if it's not flyover. Thank you very much.
The one thing I can guarantee, Olive, is that Kingsley's votes will not be among those 2.5 million votes that Governor Okpebolo has promised Ashiwaju in 2027.
Unless something changes between now and then in the way that they see that governance has been done.
And Olive, just before we go on this break, I wanted to take your opinion from it, as someone that's widely traveled, that why are we underutilizing our waterways? Is it because of marine spirit?
That's a very valid question. We will answer that question when we come back from this break. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. Benga had asked a very important question that, we've answered off air, so I believe.
No, I need you to share your knowledge with the viewers.
It's Mr. Akatugba, because he's a traditional.
We seem to have a healthy fear of.
Naturally, we are very superstitious, and originally Africans are animists, and we believe in the fact that the gods are in the trees or in the water. So, but I don't think so. I just believe that.
It's a lack of infrastructural development.
A lack of government interest. Our roads are overutilized. That's why we hardly finish construction, then we need rehabilitation.
I mean, Lagos is called, we have more waterways than the Netherlands, for example.
The advantage we have is awesome. Up till now, we've not been able to develop transportation by water to Delta, to all the coastlines.
Yes, the entire southern states.
The coastline, the coastal road, because we didn't utilize that resources. If we had used it, a lot of people would have traveled.
And it's relaxing. I mean, look at you. You've been to Zanzibar. People that go to Zanzibar, for example, people use the ferry system. Yeah. Sometimes you can even drive your car, roll in, roll out into the ferries, and you move to different islands. Senegal, from mainland Dakar to Gori Island, they utilize it.
We need to put more effort. We need to decongest the use of our roads. All of these heavy, goods that are being transported. Yeah. If they can dredge some of these waterways and ensure that even some big ships can move goods between here and to Port Harcourt.
Exactly. And that will reduce the pressure on the roads and this whole traffic.
A last story on the Tribune newspaper before we move on to other stories. I believe 3 of us on this set wearing a touch of green. That's in patriotism and in honor of the victory. The impending victory of the Super Eagles over the Atlas Lions of Morocco tonight.
Say Atlas Mountain Lions.
Yes, Atlas Mountain Lions of Morocco tonight. AFCON semis, if you look at the top right corner of the Tribune newspaper, I fear Osimhen, Iwobi, and Lukman, Morocco coach. My reply to the Morocco coach. And NFF chairman allays fears over officiating because the officials for that for the game will be the referee, I believe, is from South Africa, and the third official, the linesman, they're from South Africa and Ghana. And that online rivalry. And beyond xenophobia, online rivalry, we're always bantering with Ghana and South Africa. Is there cause for alarm?
Well,
but before you answer, let's take a call from Francis. Francis calling from Akwa Ibom. Good morning, Francis. Thank you for calling. Please go ahead.
Hello?
Francis, please go ahead.
I always say Nigerian politicians are surprised that we believe them, even when they don't believe themselves. Now, I always say this because whenever people are doing this newspaper review, I wish you can change the name from newspaper review to Nigeria Review. And don't bring any newspaper because we already know the problem of Nigeria. Our problem is this 5% that are governing us. I don't also fail to say, Nigeria is here to get a good charger to charge us. All the chargers that are battling from one political party to another cannot charge this country. As that, let's leave that aside. U.S. is not coming to help us. U.S. wants to help themselves using Nigeria as their ladder. That man called their president. The killing going on in America, in our own case, is terrorists. In their own case, it is their security people, and they are not. He's not helping them. He wants to help people that because he knows we have what they don't have. Like the man in the studio said, they are a transactional government. Whatever they do for you, they have something they want to collect. When they finish collecting it, they will now go. Go to Libya. They have collected what they want. They hand them over to the same people that they want to protect them to. Go to Afghanistan. It's the same thing. Once they are through, they will hand you over to the same people they want to protect you from. So I think Nigerians should stop this thing about, oh, somebody come from somewhere to come and help us. We can help ourselves until we get the right charger. Even that my brother wearing suit, they have not told me whether he has won his presidency of his estate or not. I'm here to get that. Thank you.
June this year, my estate residential association, I'm contesting for presidency. So when I return, I'll become, she'll be addressing me as president.
Your Excellency, sir.
That's a thankless job, and it's really praiseworthy that you are throwing yourself.
And you really believe this man?
Very thankless job.
No, I'm just a tenant too.
As a tenant, even in my estate, tenants are allowed to be president. It's not only landlord. It's a resident association.
Shout out to my
estate.
Shout out to my estate. You know,
Are you an active participant in your estate?
In the WhatsApp
politics?
group, when there's no power, I'll just go there. I'm like, please, what's the update? Is there power? That's about
power.
You know, I mean, you're already dealing with a lot
You are the one
with Nigeria.
That pressure.
No. And I appreciate them when they do a great work. Like, oh, thank you so much for the great work.
So the coach says,
I fear
Osimhen, Iwobi, and Lookman. He should also fear Nwabalu and others.
This is the reason why I'm not carried away by that fear. What he has done, he's crippled them already. And he's only telling Nigeria and making us feel them and ensure that we don't change tactics. So he's only deceiving.
So it's reverse psychology.
Yes, he's not afraid. He has put them in check.
He said that now he will not be surprised if they then change their tactics. That's part of what he said.
Wow.
So, you see, he has studied them, that these are the damage. He has already checkmated them. He's told his teammates. So he's now telling us, I'm afraid of them, so you would think you have good guys and strong guys. You will neutralize them. Football is an interesting game. I wish and I pray they win as they have been winning. But it's important also to know that game of football is either you win or you lose, so that people do not go and hurt themselves and damage. I've seen a man who damaged his own car. He stood in front of the boot bonnet and broke the frustration of defeat.
Wahala.
That was even Premiership, not a national game.
Must have
so we should go in there with sportsmanship. We should support our egos.
We will be doing a double against them, because if you remember the WAFCON finals, they were 2 goals up against the ladies, the Falcons of Nigeria, and Nigeria came back to beat them at home. They were host nation. So if we beat them today, we would have beaten their men and women and also their animals. The eagle would have defeated the lion.
Now, what is it about these lion eagles in the African team?
It's a nickname.
Well,
it's so interesting. It's Taranga Lions, this and that.
It's and the Benin, Republic of Benin, the nickname for their team, they used to be Squirrels of Benin. Then they said it's too small. It's a mixed animal. They changed it to leopards of Benin, but it hasn't really helped their fortunes on the field.
Okay, we'll come back to talk about that a little more, but let's hear from Stanley. Good morning, Stanley. Thanks for calling.
Black Stars of Ghana.
So another thing that he had mentioned again in the, after saying that he won't be surprised if they change their tactic. Their captain, Wilfred Ndidi, is not going to be there on suspension. Rafael Oyindika is taking his place. He thinks that Ndidi not being there is going to help the Moroccan team. I don't know if you share.
Why is he speaking? Is our own coach not talking?
Can you see what he's saying? Everything about his
He thinks he's wise.
He knows that the only way you can break down this place is to it's like when you are trying to deceive somebody, you deceive in this way, you go this way. He's
speaking. Now I'm wondering, is he Morocco's coach or Nigeria's coach? Because he's speaking more about the Nigerian team than his own team.
It's because it was an interview. They asked him this question.
And I like the fact that our coach is not speaking so much.
He does his talking on the pitch.
And the boys are flying right now, so they are leaving their name, the Flying Eagles.
Yes.
So let them fly to victory and make all the dollars that have been promised.
I also want to say that the federal government, because there's this pattern of giving them $100,000 if they win. Nigeria is not that rich. Please, they should give them a handshake and give them $10,000.
And we are financially buoyant.
Yeah.
Oliver and I and Joe, we are also doing a great job in informing Nigerians every day. We also deserve $100,000.
Football is unfair. The kind of money you pay players is so humongous that the spectators just cheer them to their wealth and prosperity. And you get nothing, you pay for it. and you wound yourself up, and some guys go with millions of dollars.
But the good thing, they deserve that because they have a short shelf life. I mean, and it's a very risky job. Injuries could happen and things like that. Yeah.
Those successful players, they remember this. I hope.
I mean, I like, in response to that, you know, when we were talking about Ndidi's absence, I just checked to see if our coach spoke about it, and he did, and he downplayed Ndidi's absence, saying, yes, Ndidi brings so much to the team, and he wishes that Ndidi was a part of the match, but that he also has, that it's a team, and he has faith in those who are going to be, you know, replacing him.
Fantastic.
But come 9 p.m., we gallant for front of television.
Why is it so late, though? Don't they know that we have Breakfast Central tomorrow?
Because if they just need you to watch it. And
because if it will end in 2 hours, 9 to 11. That's 11 p.m. and we need to prepare for tomorrow. That extra time, that's you are looking at midnight, and we need good sleep in order to be consistent and prepare for the show, so we can continue to give you this level of excellence. And then there's also time for celebration, drinking and marrying after we win. That's another 2 hours. I have to go pick Olive. We have to go to the disco to celebrate.
I don't do such. I don't do such. No, I don't.
Okay.
Right. Okay, let's come to the front page of this Nigerian. And this is a very unsettling story on the big story there. It said federal government consultant Oyedele alleges death threats. Has it got into that?
You see, we underestimate the level of division in Nigeria. Sometimes the Gaddafi made a statement for which reason Nigeria hated Gaddafi. We've been operating 2 countries, 2 ideologies, both religion and all kinds of things. So if you see what is happening with the implementation of these tax reforms, many parts of this country are not pleased. And they are pushing back. I told you here the other day that alarm, that the document that was passed is different from what is gazetted. I told you that it's an orchestration from the back. Even those who from the Ministry of Justice, someone was recruited to do all that. We live in a very, very complicated country. If you go to Abuja, you go into the civil service, it takes guts to lead this country. The Nigerian president on a daily basis is shocked about the country he leads. Anyone who has led Nigeria is mostly quiet after his tenure. He doesn't like talking.
No, you're not talking because they are still getting a lot of money.
Sometimes he's perplexed by the quality of people and the hypocrisy of the people he has governed.
Okay.
So we need to be we pray for his safety because he's been very forthright. You see, people think tax reform is against the progress of individuals. No. Nigerians, we must ask ourselves, the fact that we are demanding this country, that this country needs to do this for you, is because you are born in Nigeria. What else are you doing? What are you giving?
Nigerians are not saying that they're not going to pay tax. They're saying the entire process should be shrouded in secrecy. They should be open.
But the tax is for the country.
They should be open to...
Do you think the president will be there forever, that he made a tax law just because he wants to disadvantage Nigerians? He's making a tax law, tax reform, that other governments will enjoy the benefit of collecting tax and the transparency of the tax process. There cannot be a perfect system. If there is a problem, let's go to the problem, the way the white man behaves. No white person does. They came to bomb Sokoto and some bomb did not detonate. It tells you that it's not foolproof. As great as the Tomahawk missile that was, didn't you see the one that did not detonate? Didn't you see the one that went off target? Does it mean that they are very perfect? There's no, even the Western world, the advanced nations, there are errors. In their elections too, we saw errors. Doesn't mean they are perfect. The only difference in Western people, the white man, is that he identifies his problem and solves it and never loses the focus. When they were coming to colonize you, the people died in the process, but they didn't give up.
Okay.
We easily give up when we notice a small fault and everybody just throws up.
We have a few minutes to go. Let's hope that we can touch this as quickly as possible. It's on the front page of the Punch. Let's talk a bit of politics. Top left corner of the Punch, you can see the picture of former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. It says 2027, ADC faction eyes Jonathan Saraki Makinde alliance. What say you?
ADC faction, one of the factions. Okay, it's not an Atiku faction. There's another faction there that is different from Obi's own. So ADC is having a division. Some people are working to look for Jonathan to come and be their presidential candidate. Atiku is the owner of that coalition.
owner.
He's the owner, yeah.
Yeah, how?
The fact that it was the first to join does not mean it's the owner.
It is for him that it was formed. It's only him that we withdraw.
Members will vehemently disagree with you.
The members of the ADC,
ADC,
they are going to disagree because each time they are speaking, yesterday somebody was speaking, Ladan Sali was speaking, and each time he was talking of their presidential candidate, was article was calling.
So he might be aligned or inclined to
why you always calling this man? It tells you both if I didn't know we call it the original presidential candidate. Except they are able to sit at
but the delegates will decide when they go to convention.
The delegates, they belong to Atiku.
Not all of them.
All right. You see what will happen. Except he leaves that I step down. Then you will see a Peter Obi and possibly a Kwankwaso coming up. That's
How
my
about
suspicion.
Rotimi Amechi?
No, Amechi has no chance. Not
How about Nasir?
You know why? If they give it to Peter Obi, it is already a bad game for him. Because Peter Obi is not going to sell ADC in the north. They know it. That's where the problem is. Peter Obi is not going to be sold to the northerners now. But Peter Obi will be a force in the south.
Okay, let me take one comment from YouTube before we call it a day. Mopin Chukwemeka says, the tax I have been paying, what have I gotten from the government? I provide my own power, healthcare, and many other things. Nigerians will pay tax, but we don't trust the system.
I like what she has said. What you have paid in the past has not been well utilized
And
because it has been insignificant. There has not been what you call an effective collection of tax in Nigeria. From citizens, maybe corporate taxes are being collected, but not adequate to run this country. This country is expensive.
Yeah, but
our
don't we have
constitution did not prepare for a country that doesn't have money. We wrote a constitution as though we were wealthy. Imagine the National Assembly. If you know the cost of running our National Assembly.
Mr. Akatugba.
102 legislators.
Yeah, that's where
They all have offices.
that's where the question comes in. Are we fiscally responsible? Because how do you justify 40 billion naira for a CCTV system on the Third Mainland Bridge?
That is what came in the news, but
I mean, it's everywhere, and nobody has denied it.
We have to interrogate that figure.
No,
it looks very humongous, but for you to put CCTV on the Third
11.8 kilometers.
Just a minute. You need a lot of wiring, and the kind of wiring that would make the CCTV functional in that terrain, we don't know it. So that's why let's not just hear 40 billion.
No. Is it fiscally responsible to spend that?
I can't say to that because I don't have the figures until you look at what has been posted before you can speak.
Okay.
In my own opinion.
In 5 seconds.
Yes, just to say my own is, in this country, let us work towards a time where oil will no longer be, so that the country can survive like other nations.
Well, the good news is that gold.
And now that we're about to pay taxes, we will now be annoyed enough to question government officials when they live a certain lifestyle.
Yet we have a budget that they've injected.
Yeah, I've already started paying taxes. 2026
budget, you look at the budget and your heart is broken because MDAs were asked to carry over 70% of capital projects and not introduce new projects. Yet they not only carried over 70%, they introduced new projects.
Yeah, I've already started this. I bought meat pie yesterday. My VAT was 330 naira.
Okay, we have to go now. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back again tomorrow. We celebrate Armed Forces Remembrance Day tomorrow as we celebrate the sacrifices of our heroes, alive as well as the fallen heroes. Join us again same time from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I am Olive.